Imagine, if you will, a world long before our own, a time when the earth was warmer, the air thicker with the scents of ancient ferns and conifers. This is the late Cretaceous period, some 68 to 66 million years ago, when the mighty Tyrannosaurus rex roamed the lands of what we now call Western North America. As the sun sets slowly on this prehistoric landscape, let us drift back, gently and without haste, to explore the evolution and daily life of this remarkable creature. Feel the weight of time pressing down, soft and unyielding, as we wander through the facts and whispers of its existence. Tyrannosaurus rex, often simply called T-Rex, was not always the colossal predator we envision. Its story begins much earlier, in the shadows of evolutionary history. The Tyrannosauroids, the family from which T-Rex descended, first appeared in the early Cretaceous, around 145 million years ago. These early ancestors were small, perhaps no larger than a human, scurrying through the underbrush of ancient forests. Over millions of years, as continents shifted and seas rose and fell, these creatures grew larger, adapting to fill the niches left by other predators. Think of it, generation after generation, bones lengthening, muscles strengthening, in a slow, relentless march toward dominance. By the late Cretaceous, the tyrannosaurids had risen to prominence. T-Rex itself emerged in the Maastrichtian Age, the final chapter of the dinosaur era. Fossils tell us it inhabited Laramidia, an island continent separated by the western interior seaway. From the Hell Creek Formation in Montana to the Lance Formation in Wyoming, its remains have been unearthed, painting a picture of a beast that ruled its domain. Some theories suggest Asian origins, with relatives like Tarbosaurus crossing ancient land bridges. Imagine those migrations. Vast herds of dinosaurs moving across foggy plains, their footsteps echoing faintly in the distance as evolution shaped them for survival. What would it have been like for a T-Rex in those days? Picture a juvenile, hatching from an egg in a nest hidden among the ferns. Eggs, though no direct T-Rex nests have been found, were likely laid in clutches, protected by watchful parents, drawing from behaviors seen in related theropods. The young one emerges, small and vulnerable, perhaps covered in downy protofeathers that it would shed as it grew. Growth was rapid, astonishingly so. From hatchling to subadult, a T-Rex could gain up to 600 kilograms per year during its teenage phase, around ages 14 to 18. By 19, it reached full size, a process that took less than 20 years in total. Feel the steady pulse of that growth day by day, as bones elongated and muscles thickened under the warm Cretaceous sun. As an adult, T-Rex stood as one of the largest land carnivores ever, measuring up to 13 meters in length, with a height of about 4 meters at the ships, and weighing between 7 and 9 tons. Its body was balanced by a heavy tail, swaying gently as it moved. The hind limbs were powerful, built for bursts of speed, perhaps up to 32 kilometers per hour over short distances, while the forelimbs were curiously short, barely a meter long, with 2 clawed fingers. What purpose did those tiny arms serve? Some say they helped in rising from a resting position, or perhaps in clasping during mating. Others ponder if they were vestiges of earlier ancestors, slowly diminishing over evolutionary time. In the quiet of the prehistoric night, one might imagine a T-Rex resting on its belly, those arms tucked beneath as stars wheeled overhead. The skull was a marvel of adaptation, massive and robust, up to 1.5 meters long. Fenestrae, openings in the bone, lightened the weight without sacrificing strength. The jaws held around 60 teeth, serrated and curved like bananas, some as long as 30 centimeters, including the root. These were heterodont, varying in shape. D-shaped at the front for gripping, larger and more blade-like at the sides for tearing. Teeth were replaced every 250 days or so, ensuring a constant supply for a life of predation. The bite force was immense, the strongest of any terrestrial animal, capable of crushing bone with ease. Evidence from coprolites, fossilized dung, shows fragments of hadrosaur and ceratopsian bones, ground to bits by those powerful jaws. Daily life for a T-Rex revolved around the eternal cycle of hunt, feed, and rest. As dawn broke over the subtropical wetlands, think lush forests of dawn redwoods, angiosperms blooming in the understory, the creature would stir. Its senses were finely tuned, binocular vision with a 55-degree overlap, sharper than a hawk's in some estimates, allowing it to judge distances accurately. The olfactory bulbs were large, granting a keen sense of smell to detect carrion or prey from afar. Low-frequency hearing picked up the distant rumbles of herds, while sensitive snouts, riddled with neurovascular canals, might have aided in handling eggs or sensing subtle changes in the environment. Hunting was both opportunistic and strategic. T-Rex was an apex predator, targeting hadrosaurs like Edmontosaurus, ceratopsians such as Triceratops, ankylosaurs, and even young sauropods. Was it a pure hunter or a scavenger? The evidence suggests both. Bite marks on bones show it could rip through flesh and crush armor, while healed wounds on prey fossils hint at failed attacks. Imagine a T-Rex stalking through the mist-shrouded plains, its footsteps heavy but deliberate. It might ambush from cover, using short bursts of speed to close the gap. Or perhaps it followed the scent of a dying animal, conserving energy in the humid heat. Social behavior adds another layer to this tale. Did T-Rex live alone or in packs? Trackways from related species suggest group movement, and multiple skeletons found together, though sometimes explained by natural traps like droughts, hint at possible cooperation. Intra-specific fights were common. Fossils show healed puncture wounds from teeth, perhaps over territory or mates. Picture two adults circling in the fading light, tails lashing slowly, jaws snapping in ritualized displays. Juveniles might have formed loose groups, hunting smaller prey while avoiding the larger adults who could turn cannibalistic in lean times. As the day wore on, feeding would commence. A successful kill meant gorging, up to hundreds of kilograms in a single meal, then retreating to shade for digestion. Metabolism was likely mesothermic, between cold-blooded reptiles and warm-blooded birds, allowing efficient energy use. Resting in the afternoons, under the canopy of ancient trees, the T-Rex might have conserved strength for the next hunt. Nights were for vigilance, ears attuned to the calls of nocturnal creatures, eyes scanning the darkness. Evolutionarily, T-Rex adapted to a changing world. Its arctometatarsalia feet, where the middle metatarsal was pinched, improved locomotion efficiency. Skin impressions reveal mosaic scales, with possible limited feathering on the back, a remnant from feathered ancestors like Utaranus. Lips may have covered the teeth, protecting them like in modern lizards. Intelligence was moderate, The brain's encephalization quotient rivaled chimpanzees, with a cerebrum suited for processing sensory input. Not a genius by modern standards, but clever enough to navigate its world. Yet, all things end. The Cretaceous Paleogene extinction event, 66 million years ago, brought an abrupt close. An asteroid impact, volcanic activity, climate shifts. These forces wiped out T. rex and its kin. In the final days, perhaps the skies darkened with ash, herds thinned, and the great predator grew hungrier. But let us not dwell on the end. Instead, drift with the echoes of its life, the slow rhythm of adaptation across eons. As we continue this tale, consider the broader tree of life. T. rex's lineage ties to birds, the only surviving dinosaurs. Modern chickens and ostriches carry faint echoes of that ancient power. Tangent upon tangent, the story unfolds. From small tyrannosauroids in the Jurassic, scrambling through undergrowth, to the giants of the Cretaceous dominating the food chain. Repeat the pattern. Adapt, survive, evolve, generation after generation, in the quiet persistence of nature. And so, in the vast expanse of prehistoric time, the T. rex moved through its days. Morning hunts, afternoon rests, evening scavenges, all in a world of endless cycles. The sun rose and set, as bones grew stronger and senses sharper. Imagine again. A lone T. rex, silhouette against the horizon, sniffing the breeze for the faint scent of a distant meal. The ground trembles softly under its weight, ferns brushing against scaled legs. No rush, no urgency, just the steady flow of existence. Fossils like Sue and Scotty whisper more details. Sue, discovered in South Dakota, bore scars from battles, broken ribs, torn tendons, even gout in its toes. Life was harsh, yet resilient. Scotty, the heaviest at nearly 9 tons, lived to around 28 years, its bones marked by the passage of time. Each scar a story, each bone a chapter in the evolutionary narrative. As the night deepens in our imagined Cretaceous world, let the story of T. rex lull you. From humble beginnings to apex might, its evolution was a testament to adaptation. Drift now, gently into sleep, with visions of ancient landscapes and the quiet thunder of distant footsteps.